Hello everyone, and welcome to our backyard. Today I want to talk about the Mexican flame vine, which I just replaced, so I'm going to get in a little closer. So I have had the Mexican flame vine for a year now, and let me show you the tag. This is an annual, it says for us, and I did keep it outside because it's trellised, and we had a freeze this January and it got down to 19 degrees here south of Houston. And you'll see that it says it is an annual, but when I was digging this out, the roots were real healthy. Unfortunately, everything about half inch under the soil looked very bad, so I don't know if it would have come back from the roots or not, but it hadn't started. There was nothing that was coming from the roots, and so I replaced it this spring. And those of you that are in the Houston area, I do get a couple of questions on what nursery I go to, and of course, there's a lot of very nice nurseries in the Houston area because Houston is so large. I do drive, though, about an hour, and I like a nursery called Enchanted Gardens in Richmond. It is southwest of the Houston metro area, and they have lots of plant selection, a lot of natives, neat different types of plants, trees, shrubs, bushes, herbs, about anything, the annuals, about anything that you would want. And I got this year for $34.99. It was nice and large and healthy. And I'd like to now zoom in and show you a little bit of the particulars. It has really nice foliage. I love the color. In the fall and early winter, it changed to a really nice kind of burgundy color. So the foliage looks really great on this. The blooms are interesting. They have this puffball of a center, and the butterflies are so attracted to this bloom. And this is the reason why I did get it, is because when I had it last spring, I noticed, even though it said it was a butterfly attractor, I couldn't believe all of the butterflies that just loved this cheery, happy bloom. And they just get on that landing pad and just go to it. It's really a nice plant. I'm gonna put at the top, I'm gonna link the video that I did last spring, and I'm also gonna put the one right after it last fall of this Mexican flame vine. It grew gorgeously. Last year I got a 1-gallon plant and it filled this whole trellis up. My fence is over 6 feet tall, and it certainly got over that. So in one season, a 1-gallon plant that I purchased for $9.99 did that. This year, the plant that they had was in a 3-gallon pot, and it was $34.99. And I was so thankful for my neighbor to pick it up for me, because this has such a great start on it already. And I just love the look in the garden, and I love what it attracts. A couple of things that I'd like to mention about this plant is we had a really harsh summer last year. And you'll see all these buds that are on it. Last summer, we got over 100 degrees many days in a row, and we had what were called excessive heat warnings, to where it felt like 120 degrees, and it was July, August, and part of September, and this plant quit flowering. A lot of my plants just shut down. It was a real tough summer. Plus we had a drought. So I do want to mention that it says on the tag, let me bring it up again, that it will bloom from spring to fall. But what I noticed is that it stopped during that hot part of the summer, and it did not start blooming again until late fall. So that's one thing that I want to mention if you are interested in getting this vine. The other thing is not a super aggressive vine. So yes, it will climb the trellis. Yes, it will come up, but it is not aggressive. And I liked that about this vine. I would have liked it more if it would come back. So I probably should have waited to see. Probably next year what I will do, or this fall, is I will take a cutting of it and overwinter. But I'm certainly not disappointed in getting a beautiful plant, a beautiful plant like this. You know, you can't say any more about these blooms because of what an attractor they are to butterflies, bees, and pollinators. So the other thing that I want to mention is it does require well-draining soil, and it does prefer full sun to just very light shade. This here is in the full sun where I have it located against my east fence, so it gets a lot of not super early morning sun, but definitely all then throughout the day and into the afternoon. So it does want well draining soil. I do have it in a pot because of that, so I can have it in well draining soil since my soil is heavy clay, and I do not have a garden bed here yet, and so I do have it in a pot. The other thing that I do have is I do have drip, and we installed drip not last summer but the summer before, and we installed it over the summer. My husband and I did, and we did it ourselves, and we would take one day on a weekend and we would just do what we could, like in the morning, and then just continue throughout the summer. And by the sometime in August we were completed, and we have multiple zones on timers and on the drip, and that has really helped. The other thing that's really helped is I have what's called a pot dripper, and this is it's probably not going to focus very well here, sorry about that, but this sprays down. It's different than an emitter. It sprays down and out, so it has an arc. It's specifically designed for pots, and I prefer this type of spray because I get a lot of coverage in the pot rather than just an emitter or putting the drip tubing in that's like every 6 inches that will drip into the pot. I've done that too, but I actually prefer the drip emitter stakes that are specifically designed for pots, and I got those at Lowe's. This vine is a fairly fast grower, so I don't fertilize it a lot. I have soil that has fertilizer in it and then put in a slow release fertilizer, and that should last at least through midsummer. At least I'm hoping. So like I've said, I've had this plant now for a year, even though this is a new one because I had to replace mine that died in the freeze. I've at least gone through with it now all of our seasons. I do believe I want this in my garden every year purely for what it does and what it attracts. It is a cheery plant. I do like the color. I do like the growth habit on it. And of course, you know me, those of you that have seen my channel, you know that I like to plant vertically. So I will be planting my cardinal climber soon, and my passion vine will be coming up and is starting to come up. And then over here, I've got the coral honeysuckle, and I'm going to be doing a video on that fairly soon. Well, thank you for joining me. Mexican flame vine is a fairly new plant to me. I do like it. I do like the look. I like what it brings to the table in the garden. I like what it attracts. And I like how it performs. This year is going to be, hopefully we're not going to have a summer like we did prior to last summer. So this will be a good test to see what it's like to have it for a couple of summers. All right. Well, again, thanks for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I hope to see you again soon.